There's a couple ways you can clean all this carbon buildup from your intake valves. One method is to spray a cleaning solution that's made for this and let it sit for a bit, and then use brushes to clean the deposits out. The correct way to do it is to walnut blast it. And what you need to do this is basically a device that will allow you to spray the walnut shell blast media all over the intake valves, intake ports, while simultaneously vacuuming it out. Walnut shell that I got from Harbor Freight for this project. There are not many options for this product or device that you need to be able to do this. There's one that I found online, and after shipping it's around $80. So I went to Home Depot instead, and then I went to Harbor Freight, got a couple things, and I created something that worked very well, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video, is how to do that. Here are the items that you're going to need, along with an air compressor and a shop vac with a 1 1/4 inch hose. And these last two items aren't completely necessary, but they do make things a lot easier. Starting with the part that's highlighted in green, the PVC T and the two bushings. You're going to put those in the top and the left side. The reduced side on the other end, that's the end that you're going to put in the intake port. And what I'm doing here is just assembling those PVC parts, the T and the bushings. Now here's the part where you want to put some silicone grease on that plastic tubing. That way the grommet can slide on there and move freely back and forth. This tubing is cold, so it's coiled up and all twisted, but I actually heated the tubing up with a heat gun for a while before I actually used it. It made it much more pliable and easy to work with. And here I'm just adding a little bit of electrical tape around the vacuum hose attachment just to keep it in place and provide kind of a seal that's in that bushing. And here's the purpose for that piece of foam. I just cut a little hole in it. That way the smaller side of the reducing T can fit right in there. It just acts as kind of a seal. When you're spraying the media into the intake valve, it's not blowing out all over the place, all over the engine bay. Next thing is you need a container to hold the walnut shell. I use this old supplement container. Coffee can, a plastic coffee can will work fine as well. I drilled a hole in the bottom. The diameter of the hole was 0.57 inches, and that created the perfect seal for that 1/2 inch clear tubing to fit into. And I just drilled a small hole in the top lid, just because if you don't do that, when you start spraying, the pressure will actually crush the container with the media inside. Here's what your spray nozzle should look like when it's all set up. You got the grommet there holding the hose in to keep the back spray from coming out. You got your vacuum hose attached, your air hose attached to the spray gun, and you got your media hose attached to the front of the spray gun. So here I created a mock-up of the intake valves once the intake manifold is removed. I'm simulating putting tape over the valves that are still open. You want to do this when the valves are completely closed, because you do not want this stuff getting inside of the engine. And here is where that silicone grease comes into play, because you want that rubber grommet to kind of stay in place. You should actually hold it with your hand. And you want that tube to be able to slide back and forth, so you're not only cleaning the top of the valve, but you're also cleaning the port from top to bottom. I completed this job on a 2014 Mazda CX-5. I'm not going to film the whole process of dismantling the intake manifold and all that stuff. A lot of these GDI engines are probably different to get to the intake ports, so I'm going to link another video that I watched when I was doing this process on this particular vehicle. This video's purpose was mainly just to show you a way around having to buy that expensive part off the internet to do this. You can do it with some simple stuff from Home Depot and Harbor Freight. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, just let me know. Take care.